And we are back for the Season 6, Episode 7 preview, the final episode of the season. So things open with Grey Worm, who we've hardly seen at all this season. Besides his sex scene with Missandei and his attack on Casterly Rock, he hasn't really had much of a role. The last time we saw the Unsullied, they were at Casterly Rock with no ships and no food. Jaime had hypothesized that they would have to abandon Casterly Rock and make a long march across the continent. So I imagine this is what they've done here. Story-wise, it makes sense that they'd be at King's Landing to protect Daenerys, though frankly the scenery looks more like the Reach. Many people have been wondering if Grey Worm has Edmure Tully with him. In Season 6, Jaime says he was going to imprison him at Casterly Rock. Of course, the smart thing for the Lannisters would be to take Edmure Tully with them. But perhaps Jaime forgot. And perhaps the showrunners completely forgot about the character, and he won't appear at all. Next we have the Ironborn fleet back at King's Landing with Euron's ship the Silence out front. Now, if dragons weren't in the picture, this would really make the Ironborn the most powerful force in Westeros. A strong navy simply gives one domination for raids, resupplies, and rapid troop movement. But alas, dragons are in the picture, and I imagine Dany could simply destroy this entire fleet in one single attack. Now, I do wonder where Yara is. Is she back in the Iron Islands, or has Euron bothered to bring her to King's Landing to taunt people? Will she be used as a bargaining chip of some sort? Surprisingly, neither Euron nor Yara are seen in any of the previews, so this likely means the mere appearance of them would be a spoiler. Is she in chains? Abused? Mutilated? Dead? It's hard to say at this point. So next we get Varys, Theon, and Tyrion looking sour as they approach King's Landing and the mighty fleet of Euron. So last episode, Tyrion and Dany did talk about traps being laid for them, so I do wonder if Cersei has something up her sleeve. Then we get the Dothraki joining the Unsullied. It seems like neither of these forces were depleted very much in their battles. And then we have Bronn and Jaime looking out on this force. Again, plot-wise this should be King's Landing, but it certainly doesn't look like it. So we now only seem to have one other location in our story, which is Winterfell. Sansa is shown here simply looking out over snow. Sansa, of course, has her conflict with Arya, and she seems to have sent away Brienne in order to weaken Arya. Of course, the big question is why hasn't Bran intervened? He, of course, has all the information needed to stop these two women from killing each other. And frankly, Bran has been given remarkably little screen time this whole season. He might be the wild card that Littlefinger hasn't planned for, and it would be nice for Bran to do something this season, rather than just spot an army. There is one line from the season trailers that hasn't yet appeared in the show, and that's when the lone wolf dies, the pack survives. So I'm imagining that the Stark pack is going to stay together. Next we have what appears to be Theon collapsing on a beach. I would guess that he's collapsing for emotional reasons rather than physical reasons, and I would say that something is probably wrong with Yara. Dead, tortured, mutilated, something like that. We kind of know that Theon will eventually face Euron as a proxy for Ramsay. It's hard to say whether they're going to get around to it in this episode or if we have to wait until next season. And then we have a simple shot of Cersei walking into her map room, not much to say about that. And then we have everyone gathering at the Dragon Pit in King's Landing. The Dragon Pit was where the Targaryens used to raise dragons. However, during the Dance of the Dragons, religious zealots stormed the dragon pits and killed many of the dragons there. The battle there left the entire pit in ruins. Since most of the dragons died out during the dance and a little bit after, there was no use for the pit afterwards. And so it was left in ruins. And then we get the alliance of the good guys coming in. We see Tyrion, Davos, Brienne, Podrick, Jon, Jorah, Theon, and hidden behind Podrick you can kind of see Missandei's hair. Now in the season trailers, there's only one scene that has not appeared in any of the other previous episodes or this trailer, and that's of the Hound here at the pit. He's pulling out his sword for some reason, and I'm guessing this is to stab the White in order to display how impervious it is to harm. So then we have Cersei here at the pit, followed by Jon and Tyrion and Jaime and Cersei. The whole gang seems to be here except for Euron and Dany, so I'm guessing their appearances must spoil something. Maybe Dany's coming down on a big dragon and they wanted to save that scene. Maybe Euron has Yara with him in chains. I have no idea, but it is rather weird that both characters have been kept out of all of the previews. And it all ends with Jon saying that there's only one war and it's here. By here, I'm imagining he means the White. And that's it for the episode 7 preview. No Sam and Gilly for some reason. I imagine he's going to find out that his father and brother died at some point. But we shall see, we shall see. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.